Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the TO Desk. We are back with our second episode. As always, I am Shib, and I'm going to introduce my merry band that I brought with me today. Coren, returning once again. Coren, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah, not much.
That's awesome. And Daryl, once again. Daryl, what's up?
If this is a D&D party, I am the cleric, Harry.
All right, I respect that. Tenma, talk to me.
What's up, everybody? Nice to see all y'all here.
And I've got Shotokan, better known as Kevin, around these parts. Tell me, how you doing?
Uh, Pretty good. I took today off to be lazy and I'm living it up.
All right, awesome. So you are living it up with us, buddy. So we've got a couple of topics that we're going to go through today on our follow-up episode. These are going to be a little bit of news and a little bit of discussion because, as you know, as I mentioned in our first episode, we wanted to talk about the organizational side of the community and what we bring to the table and kind of share some of our knowledge, some of the things that we wanted to talk about in the past. So we're going to start with the new characters that are now playable, the ones that you can play either now or soon, like immediately soon, not like a year from now. And then we're going to talk about the sales that are going to be going on with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the Christmas sales and things like that. What can you buy? What should you buy? And also, we're going to talk about offline events. Offline events are coming back as we record. CEO is coming up this weekend as we're recording this episode. So we want to talk a little bit about what we can do to make these offline events that are deciding to come back safer, right? Like, what can you do? What do we recommend, right? So without further ado, I want to talk about our first topic, the new characters. So we're going to talk about the three characters that are DLC coming to games that are already out. So we're talking about Luke, we're talking about Happy Chaos, and we're talking about Vira. Luke, Street Fighter V, Happy Chaos, Guilty Gear Strive, and Vira for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Now, these there's a lot of characters that are being revealed. Like, this is next to the KOF trailers for KOF 15, and then the Dungeon Fighter trailers, like the Inquisitor trailer just dropped like 5 minutes before we hit record on this thing. And this is the primary form of engagement for fighting games now, right? Like, you don't see like other genres. You'll see like balance patch streams, like even Mortal Kombat used to do those like balance patch streams and developer breakdowns and stuff like that, like what comes in a patch. No, we get character trailers. That's what we gather around to build up the hype for products lately. So let's gauge that hype, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from top to bottom once again, and I'm gonna ask for two things. I'm gonna ask which of these three characters you are most excited for, and which of those three characters you are least excited for. And you're welcome to explain why you feel that way for either one. Maybe it just doesn't do anything for you. Maybe you just think that this is the game you play. It could be something simple, but if you have some comment about why you feel either very excited or not very excited, you can go ahead and weigh in. So I'm gonna go from the top. Coren, tell me, what is the most anticipated character that you have of these three, and what is your least anticipated character?
All right. So the one I'm most excited for is Vira, because I am a Grand Blue player, and by that I mean the MOA gay.
Right.
And she is like one of the top 3 most popular characters consistently in that game. And she looks real pretty, and from what I hear, she looks pretty good.
Okay.
And I'm the least excited for Luke because I have not played Street Fighter V like basically since it came out.
Okay. So, yeah, I actually do like Vira's character design. Obviously, Arc has knocked it out the park once again with the character look and feel.
It's real pretty.
Oh yeah, amazing.
I'm not actually like a huge fan of Vira the character myself. Like I have a thing where I don't like yanderes in general.
Yeah.
Because of
Sound
toxic
advice.
relationship stuff. Yeah. But, so like that entire character archetype does like less than nothing for me, but Vira is like a cool character, and Arc is knocking it out of the park with like how they're representing characters in Grand Blue and their other licensed games. Like, just as a rule, everything looks so good, and they got some cool stuff for the character in there too.
Yeah. I respect that. I think she is incredibly realized as someone who's not really familiar with the property. I saw some people suggest that Vira should have been earlier in the roster because this is the penultimate character. There will not be. There's one more character planned for the current season pass, and then after that, we don't know if there will be another season pass. Not yet, at least. If that changes, we'll see. So Daryl, tell me, what is your most anticipated character and your least anticipated character?
I'm actually gonna flip it around. I actually really like Luke right now because one, he's out already. He's in everybody's.
Right.
I've seen a lot of early day one kind of footage, and I'm really liking his toolkit. Like that feels like a shuttle, but he also has like these really big like punchy projectiles, which it looks like more of a long range poking tool a la Dalsum, and seeing kind of like a hybrid of like what happens you put a Shoto with Dalsum limbs would be is a really interesting dynamic, especially one where the Shoto mechanics already been very well explored in the Street Fighter realm. So putting a different spin on it is a very interesting thing, at least in terms of game design. What I'm looking for.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, and then like for Vera, like I too am a Grand Blue player, but I also don't have Vera in a bunch of my teams, like just because she kind of like I don't know, her toolkits are kind of like outdated for a bunch of my squads, so like I haven't really got that personal attachment to Vera at all. I do like her voice actress, and she doesn't really do yandere voices, so this is like really fun to see a different side of her voice acting range. But outside from that, I'm not really feeling Vera.
Okay. Tenma, what do you think?
So also gonna have play on what Daryl said. I am pretty excited about Luke because, well, I actually got to try him today, and then he just really does feel like a Street Fighter Five character. Like people were hinting at that, like, oh, maybe this is gonna be the preview of what SF6 could be. Like, I don't know about that. But like, if it is cool, but like him as the final Street Fighter Five character, he definitely does feel like the amalgamation of what made Street Fighter Street Fighter. The hit throw, strike throw, your combos are easy, medium, just specials, and it's just like how you control neutral is depending on like what kind of like move you have and V trigger V skill you have, and he kind of represents that pretty well. Although right now he has a pretty insane quote unquote neutral with again they gave him KOF Ral's Galactica Phantom. Actually, it just looks so cool. So I'll give them that for sure. Vera. I know we were only supposed to say top and bottom, but Vera, I will
Yeah,
point
for
out
sure.
that
Rank them. Go for it.
I agree that Vera should have been earlier in the DLC roster. In terms of like how popular, the scope of her popularity. So I won't get into too much detail. I also play Grand Blue. She is the only character so far. There's 6 elements in the game. She's the only character that there is a version in every element in the game. So
Yeah,
she
she
Right.
completed the rainbow.
completed the rainbow, so she is very loved by both fans and the devs from the looks of it. So yeah, I am quite surprised about it. So
Okay.
it is what it is. But least favorite is probably Happy Chaos. I mean, probably within the next few hours we get to try it. But like,
Yeah, I don't know when that's dropping, but I assume soon.
It's tonight, actually.
Yeah,
it
it's
should be.
okay.
If you bought the season pass, I believe it's tonight. If you
Yeah.
haven't bought the season pass, it'll come out a week.
Uh-huh.
So I'll get to try that out soon. And then yeah, just looking at it though, I'm a Potemkin player, and this character looks mad annoying to play against with Potemkin.
Uh-huh.
So I'll probably need to like pick up the character and see like how to deal with it, or maybe I'll just pick it up. Who knows? But from the player perspective, I am not excited.
Right. Okay, so I guess I'll go next. My most anticipated. So the thing about this, I guess to preface, is I look at it like which of these games, because as I said at the beginning, this is the primary way of kind of giving engagement, towards the game. Like this is what draws people in, right? New character releases. That's what they want to use as their tool to kind of get you back in. because there's nothing else. There's not new skins. There's not new offline content. There's not new game modes in multiplayer or anything like that. No, it's just the character. That's what you're getting. So from that position, I'm saying my most anticipated character will be Happy Chaos, because I feel that the first two DLC offerings are incredibly niche characters. And this character also seems incredibly niche, but maybe in a more accessible way, or at least in a way that I'm more interested in. Because if there's a character that has like a gun as like a primary thing, I'm gonna at least try them. I like what I'm seeing. I will say I do want to see how Happy Chaos is. Well, okay, Happy Chaos and Gold Lewis are characters that are tied to a meter. He's got like the focus bar and the bullets, and the same is true of Gold Lewis. He's got I think they call it threat level or security level, one of those two. And so that seems to be the new way that they are managing character resources. This is very different from Guilty Gear in the past, where characters would just put shit on the screen. And I mean, you could say, okay, Johnny, he had coins. Well, yeah, he had coins, but that was his thing. He had coins, right? And then Jam had cards, but those things are not,
Abba had the blood packs.
Abba had blood
she
packs.
Could also just key grab you.
Yeah, exactly. But those were things that were unique to those characters. They were implemented in unique ways. Now, somebody could say, Holy Order Soul, right, had action bar, which that was one character that had that. That was his thing. Now we have two characters that are clearly tied to resources. Aside from Zato. So I'm interested in seeing like if they were to bring back like Testament, for example. Like if Testament comes back, where what he's known for is putting shit all over the screen, would he have to play around a bar now? Like would that be the only way to balance him because everyone else has to respect their own meter now? Those are the kinds of questions that I want to see explored. If they do decide to bring back old characters. But Happy Chaos, I mean, Guilty Gear Strive is the one that's easiest to play online, even though I'm not a big fan of the online experience overall. So I'm gonna buy him. I'm gonna try him. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna go back to playing Strive. I haven't played since the vanilla patch. I haven't played Soul since the new patches at all, even though that was a character I sunk most of my hours into. So I'm looking forward to trying out Happy Chaos. I'm not sure he's going to be necessarily for me, but he at least generates enough interest for me that I will go back to trying out Strive and seeing how I like it. My least interested character is Vira, because I don't play Grand Blue, and this is 2 season passes deep now.
2 season passes deep, and they're releasing a sword character.
Yeah, I'm not too sold on the proposition of going in and buying a season pass for the game. Even though I don't
getting bonus skins for your Grand Blue account.
Oh yeah, no. Especially because I play on Steam, so I'm not getting anything. So
yeah, you don't get anything.
I don't get anything. So I'm
that's
just
one of my main complaints about how they did that.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of those things where it's like we have characters that are trying to sell you back into the game, but if the game's kind of up there in terms of overall price of entry, then you have to really like that character, I guess. So yeah, I mean, Vira doesn't do anything for me. I'm not, fan of Grand Blue, and I'm certainly not, interested in spending the money to be there. So, Luke, just quickly comment on Luke. I might pick him up actually. I actually haven't bought the final pass. I might buy just him because he looks interesting. He looks fun to play actually. And I don't know if I would shell out the like $25 for it because I don't play Street Fighter 5 very much, and I'm not about to change that, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's what I got. Kevin, talk to me. What do you think?
Well, my interest is very predictable. It's in the order of how much I play these games. So at the
Yeah,
top is
exactly.
Chaos, then Vira, then Luke. So my quick views on Happy Chaos. He's kind of like well, we'll see if I eat my words or not, but it seems like a toned down Izanami from BBCF, because you can basically shoot the gun whenever you want, and Izanami kind of does the same thing with her bits when she's has them deployed. So you can kind of like run this offense with a pseudo assist, and just like Izanami, Happy Chaos cannot block while he has the gun out. So
That
yeah,
is gonna be
a lot
so
of
hard to.
these, to me, there's a lot of parallels there. But Happy Chaos doesn't seem to have a command throw, and all the stupid, insane high lows that Izanami has. So I think he'll probably be a little more tame compared to her, but I guess we'll see. Vira, I think she looks cool. I don't play Grand Blue at all, so I don't have any character attachments. From the video clips I saw of her, it seemed like she had like pretty low range for a sword normal character. On actually,
Yeah,
it's
she
always
has a little bit of
attack.
a 100 hand slap thing kind of thing.
Yeah,
She well, I guess it's more like I guess people who play Samsho would probably parallel her to Charlotte, but I don't know.
yeah. Like I saw like one decent range normal, and everything else was like pretty short ranged. At least in the context of Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and um, she definitely has a cross up. So her goal seems like, all right, if I don't get 100 meter, or I try to command throw you, or I get 100 meter, pop the mode, then try and vortex you till you die.
Right.
So yeah, that seems cool for a Grand Blue. At least it's something I haven't seen as much of, I guess.
Right, right, right.
Luke, I have no idea. I saw a clip of him demonstrating his skills and stuff. It's like, okay, he's got bigger hits. He powers up and he hits you harder or gets like the full range slap.
Right.
And it's like, all right, that's not bad. And then that was it. No comment.
Okay, yeah, I see that. But okay, yeah, I can understand that position. And these characters are coming out close to a lot of the tournaments that are starting up. So uh Luke is out now, and Happy Chaos is out in a couple of hours, and CEO is this weekend, as I opened with. So Jabali has already gone on record saying that they will not be legal. Uh,
Oh, none of them?
no, neither of them will be legal.
Okay.
Um, I know at least for Happy Chaos, I believe it's true for both of them. If I'm wrong in some way, Jabali can show me on Twitter. But the thing that I understand is that neither of them are going to be legal, but obviously the patches will be, or maybe not. Obviously, they will be up to the latest patch on the consoles that they're going to be using. So that begs the question of how long do you wait, right? Because now we're talking about, all right, so pools start on Friday for all games, right? So this is like a week of time that you have to get used to the character. Is a week long enough? Like, should it be like a month? Like, what do you guys think? Talk to me, Tenma. How long do you think a character should be left out until they're legal?
Yeah, so this topic gets put up quite often, but like as I was just like curious and looked up CEO Gaming's Twitter and that to find like what his statement was. I couldn't find the one on. Oh no, so same for Luke and Happy Chaos.
There you go.
But they say he said that if there are say any gameplay changes or patches, then they go by whatever latest version. Which I guess maybe they thought that maybe Street Disc Luke patch could introduce like a new thing. They didn't.
Yeah.
In terms of with the existing character, but then like what would be? So I'm on the side of just rock it. Just let it out. Let them rock. Like
Just let
if,
chaos reign. All right.
Because like I feel like if you claim that you are a highly competitive player and like maybe you have the resource to do the research even in that short period of time and then be able to be prepped for it even in a 24-hour 48-hour scenario. And then for a casual player they were just like, oh heck yeah, I want to use it, this looks cool, I want to use it. Like I just don't want to like bar people out of it. And then most of the TOs like us, we do get like the season pass or whatever it is, right? So it's like they'll have it likely. At least that's just my.
Yeah, that's
I
usually
do
what
think.
ends up happening.
Oh, I'm just like, yeah, folks, just go at it. So that's my stance on it. But I do understand. I'm not too sure. I'm not familiar with like other quote unquote esports format, and I don't know if any other league in any other genre does it. I'm not. Someone else can probably fill me on that.
Yeah.
But,
So
yeah, I'm definitely on the side of just let it rock.
yeah, I
Just
do
let
have some insight on that one. So if you guys, I'll use League of Legends because League of Legends is what I used to watch competitive, like the competition of the most. There it used to be, that game gets a patch like every 2 weeks. So that is an incredibly short time to adjust to patches, right? So
Once upon a time,
usually,
you were getting a character every month in League.
yeah. But I think like the patch cadence is every 2 weeks, I think, if not a month. Pretty sure it's 2 weeks though. But the way that translates is that they will host, the championship series, right? The LCS. They'll host it like a patch behind. They'll ban a character, like a week. Like I think it's literally until I think it's like literally like a week or something like that the character is prohibited entirely, or the patch is not even played. Not even the patch goes through. Like they just play on the old patch. So that was a thing, and that was also a thing for the world, world championship, right? Like they would lock in a patch for the entirety of worlds, and that is like a 2 week thing, something like that. That's like a whole 2 weeks that they'll play on that old patch. So it's not unheard of for sure for them to gradually introduce. The other thing, I guess, is like what Jabali was saying about like the expectation of gameplay changes. I do just want to say, Street Fighter V's balance patch, right? The balance patch that will come with this is not happening until I believe March, something like that. I know that it's happening next year in 2022, so that's not a thing. Guilty Gear Strive, we have no idea, right? Because they don't tell us. I think the expectation was that. Do you have?
No, it's all bug fixes.
Yeah, exactly. So what I was gonna get at is that the changes that did end up going through, nobody had any idea what it was gonna be, and then it turned out to be bug fixes, right? One of those bug fixes normalizes the damage on May in corner combos. Kevin, do you have some insight on what that was?
No, I.
Oh,
I
okay.
knew it was that, they fixed H Dolphin to do more wall damage. That's all I can get. That's all I can guess.
Yeah, I think the thing was that like the damage was unscaled or something ridiculous like that. So she had like extra damage that she should not have had, which got fixed. And I think a lot of people were saying that was a bug. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
that impacts the character mains too much.
From my understanding, it's so it wasn't that the dolphin did more damage. It's that it didn't break the wall faster, so you could do more loops basically.
Right, there you go. Yeah, that's how it worked. Yeah, and I think everyone just kind of understood that was a bug. So I don't expect that the character specialists will be sweating that too much. But thankfully these guys are gonna go in without too much to worry about. For better or worse. Tenma was saying, just to go, just to let it rock. I also think that in the context of a fighting game, like tournament strategy, just knowledge checking people through bracket, like that's gonna happen no matter what. So whether or not your tournament, bans a character is not gonna prevent the end game of a new character, which is just to knowledge check people all around.
Yo, let me chime in on this.
Yeah, talk. Yeah. So, well, first, let me just shout out Gobo, who picked Gold Lewis at Red Bull Kumite. That was really fun. that was a really fun match to watch. Like stuff like that will happen even if you ban the new character. But yeah, I just want to just bring that as an example of what I'm talking about. So, Daryl, talk to me.
Yeah. So all right. So my thing is if a new character drops like the week of a tournament, I highly doubt that anybody will have the capability of like figuring out every single matchup for that character. And then the thing about traveling out to tournaments is you're usually traveling out like Wednesday, Thursday night to get to your destination. So if a patch drops Tuesday, you literally only have 24 hours to figure out like the matchups and the attack and all that stuff. And quite frankly, like for a game that's been out for so long, like Street Fighter, like you're not gonna be able to, get over you're not gonna pull one over on the seasoned veterans who've been playing the game for 5 plus, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a huge gamble and it's not a really good risk reward. So like,
Yeah.
if anything, you gotta like, you gotta give that character some time. So as a TO, I'd let it rock. It'd be great for the stream to see, somebody who really likes the character try it out in a tournament setting for the first time. We get that data, but it's really hard to like crack even like top 8 with a brand
Yeah.
new character the week.
Unless the character is like just obviously really messed up, like immediately, with like 1 weekend of practicing a character, are you really going to be at the proficiency where it's better than just playing like your regular character? Unless your
Yeah,
regular
like the
character
character got to
sucks.
be like Leroy T7 broken.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
like,
that happened. You know, the Leroy's
maybe
arc did happen. So
maybe if they like put like Leeslot from Arcana Heart in a game, like you could maybe have enough gimmicks that people
Oh,
had just
God,
never
dude.
seen or have any idea how to deal with. Like, but
See, this is what all those people who ask for crossover characters, this is what they're saying. This is what they are encouraging, right? They're encouraging like putting in their character from like a different game, so they can do like the one gimmick that you don't know that they put in.
yeah, and then they tag in Waldstein.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, why
we
not,
tag
right?
in Wildstein.
Yeah, so that's I think what we got. Okay, so I do just want to say, if you enter any of the events presented by 956 Productions and a DLC character drops before our event, you can probably expect that we will not ban it. So, just
I got a really
have
quick
that
story to tell.
have that precedent.
I
Okay,
got a
tell
really
me.
quick story to tell.
Go for
All
it,
right,
Daryl.
all right.
What you got?
So what was it? It was EVO 2019, right? I was tasked by Arc System Works to go run the Kill a Kill F tournament.
Oh shit.
That game came out literally the week of EVO.
Yo.
That game came out like I believe on a Monday. I was like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. I'm not banning crap. It's too new. Within the first 24 hours, people were finding hella infinites and people were getting mad scared. Other
My
friends I
boy-
know, they were being like, they're embracing the degenerate. They're like, I'm gonna do this infinite. I don't care. I'm like, that's the kind of energy I want to see.
boy Rakir was just like, oh, what's the character? The blue hair with the computer on his arms.
Dude, okay. So, let me get to
he
that.
had an infinite. So,
Let me get to that really quick. So game came out Monday. There was an emergency patch on the Wednesday that patched out a lot of the infinite. On Friday, Rakir still showed up to the tournament with infinites in tow. And I believe that fool got to like second place in tournament, losing to one of the strong Korean players who was abusing the hell out of super armor because week one super armor. How you stop?
Okay, so you are referring to Inomuta, the character, and I do want to just quote Mizumi Wiki on this. It says character information in the strengths column. It says his Valor 1 gives him access to a true unburstable infinite that defeats every opponent. So I guess that never got patched. I guess that.
There was too many. Like I believe Rakir found multiple routes.
Oh
'Cause,
yeah.
Yeah, that game is pretty open ended, and if you figure out like a way how to bypass like certain combo routes, then yeah, you're pretty much golden.
Yeah. So
All right.
that happened.
So I've lost this battle a long time ago, but my stance on like DLC characters in general is that we probably shouldn't have just allowed them in tournaments. Like it should have been more of a discussion than it was when that first BlazBlue that had DLC characters came out. Because for a long
yeah?
time there was like the tradition of no console characters in tournaments because it needs to be consistent.
Right.
So like, what do you guys think about like the fact that we've unleashed the genie of everyone has to buy all the DLC characters from the bottle?
Okay. Let me start. First, I want to say that the Guilty Gear account tweeted that Happy Chaos would bring the update 1.02 to APM systems to the arcades in Japan. Apparently, that patch was just not in arcades for a hot minute until now. Which, like, the thing is that in that context, right, where like weeks will go by where the patch is not out for arcades. Like, can you justify that? Because the console will, and the thing is that all these consoles auto update, and you can't like go back a revision, right? Like the online servers, and the patch, maintenance times and all that. They revolve around whatever arc or whoever says, right? So you can't really enforce that anymore. It's not like a thing that you can do. I wish it were, because I kind of just wish we had more control over our software in general, right? But we do not. We just, now every game is like a live service where, there's constantly patches and you have to be online and stuff. So I don't think the genie was let out of the bottle by the TO so much as it became very logistically difficult to do anything other than that. Is how I view it. And I don't know how anyone else feels about that particular topic. I mean,
like,
yeah,
some of those
what do you
early
got?
DLC characters were pretty messed up too. Like the first ones were like Makoto for Blaze Blue CS, and what was the other one? Was it Valkenhayn, or was Valkenhayn on the disc?
How was a DLC?
Yeah, Valkenhayn and Makoto. Those were some characters.
Kodo had the parry infinite too.
Yeah, she had the like parry kill combo, which was insane. And Valkenhayn is, he's still Valkenhayn today, but he was even more Valkenhayn back then.
Then they released Platinum for like, oh, maybe maybe the world is fixed now.
Maybe they do R&D. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, I guess. I mean, you kind of wish, right? TOs had more say in it, but they kind of don't, right? Like people, it made more sense when the disc was just the thing that everyone had. Everyone had to buy the disc, right?
Yeah,
And
now the disc is just the game code to download it off
exactly,
PSN.
exactly.
So on that note, I guess I kind of want to add that. Do you think that CEO that's coming up, say if so he's probably going by this with his own vision. I don't know what if the CEO has like big publisher sponsorship with this one.
I think
Usually
they
have Capcom.
do. I can tell you right
If
now.
they did. Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Let me-
While you're looking that
yeah,
up, I
look-
guess the question I was gonna ask is that if this was sponsored, let's just gonna go with Arxis. If this
Yeah,
event
it
was
is sponsored by
Arxis,
Arxis.
if they said that, wait, what are you talking about? No, please put Happy Chaos in the roster. We want free advertisement. Then would you think he would do it? I guess the answer would be yes, but I guess they didn't say anything about it as a publisher side of things. Like,
okay, so that definitely extends to some of the experience that some of us have had in the past, where if you are working with a publisher, then exactly what you're saying comes into play, where they're going to want to show off the product and the stuff that they want people to see, even if that stuff is really degenerate. So I think Arxis has been in this long enough that they wouldn't do that, but I wouldn't put it past somebody with sufficient, wanting to appeal to a broader audience, quote unquote, like a Nintendo, for example. Like a Nintendo, like, I could totally see them doing something like that, where it's like, if they have a DLC character coming out for like Super Smash Bros, for example, they would be like, yeah, you gotta run it, you gotta let it, because this is our character, and he's perfect, and Bandai Namco could do no wrong, and stuff like that. So I guess my position on that is like Arxis specifically probably wouldn't do that. But I wouldn't be surprised if others did. Is the way I see it. Yeah, I don't know. Kevin, do you have any opinion on that?
Well, speaking for the Arxis side, I do know who's helping with a lot of, or I guess running a lot of the, I guess tour, I guess you could say tour, or community outreach type stuff, and he's definitely I guess a former tournament player, so he's definitely in tune with I guess how we would see things. So I don't anticipate any problems there. But of course, business being business, they kind of have the reins of things. So if they say show off the new character, we're gonna show off the new character. So, um, yeah, I think Arc is probably in good hands in that front, but it's not a guarantee.
Right.
But my opinion, I feel like if we're going to ban characters based on, oh, they're going to gimmick someone out because they're so fresh, when that all that also happens at the beginning of new games in general, right? Like, oh, grapplers are super strong because no one knows how to block their mix-up.
Yeah.
Do we go down that route?
I mean, that's the thing. You can't stop that from happening. Like, that's why I mentioned Gobo, right? Like, Gold Lewis had
Yeah.
been out, and it just happened. Like,
Yeah. So, in the end, I'd say let it rock, but I'm not the one running like some. I'm not in charge of something where esports is on the line.
right.
People's livelihoods are on the line. So to me, it's all just fun. So I'd say
Right.
yeah, let it rock. But
Okay.
if
I mean,
if we're more quote unquote serious esports, then maybe not. I don't know.
arguably the grace period of not having to deal with the character will have like the period where people are getting what the Japanese would call wakaran goroshid, like is extended because they have like that grace period where they're like, I don't have to worry about this character. I'm gonna write them off completely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
might
can
just be
see that.
delaying the
Inevitably.
pain.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I do want to say that if you guys out there, because we all seem to be in consensus about this, if you guys are listening to this on our podcast channels or on YouTube, feel free to write us a comment or tag us at 956 Productions on Twitter, and we'd be happy to look at responses later and see what people think. So do feel free to join the conversation and let us know what you think if you're listening. We're gonna move on to our next topic, which is gonna be FGC Holiday Gift Guide. So today's Cyber Monday as we record this, and obviously, the autumn sale is going on Steam, and all the hardware providers are gonna have like flash sales, and Christmas sales are gonna come around and stuff like that. So we're gonna talk about what you could buy. What you could buy somebody who's really into fighting games. What's a good deal? What's available around this time of year. And talk a little bit about games. I'm sorry?
It's an obvious answer.
Oh, an obvious answer, yeah. But
Yeah.
let's see. So let's not talk about games first, because I think everyone can recommend at least one game that they think they should buy on sale. But let's talk about peripherals, right? Like what do you think is a really good thing to have in terms of hardware these days? So I guess the the easy one that I'll say is look out for monitor deals if you can. People are talking about, like the past 3 months, I've been hearing all this stuff about high refresh monitors and stuff like that. And, those things are sometimes limited to availability. Sometimes those things are, a little expensive compared to, standard consumer TVs. And if you're not familiar with that stuff, you might not even understand why to buy it. So if you see a good deal on like a 1 millisecond response time, thing, or a high refresh rate, like above 60 hertz, we're talking like 120 hertz, would be nice, right? Double that frame time. Definitely, if you're looking to upgrade your monitor, go that little extra mile, buy yourself a high refresh rate monitor, and low latency as well if you can, and hook it up to your game console or your PC, and you're gonna have a good time. That everyone's talking about reducing lag these days. People, no more delay based stuff. Like the game was already on delay netcode. Like, why are you gonna have like a low latency, like a low latency monitor? It's like no, we're in the rollback era now. So now you want to be as close to the offline response as possible. So I think that would be a great thing to buy yourself, or somebody that's really into fighting games. Coren, do you have any suggestions?
Just to expand on that, I mean, displaylag.com hasn't been updated in like 2 years, but it was a good place to go look and see like what the actually tested good monitors are. But I mean, if you're looking to get for something to get that special Coren in your life, the undammed DB15 USB decoder is a good place to start.
Yeah, that's a great choice as well. Daryl, do you have any suggestions?
Yo, I'm smooth brain. What did Corin just recommend?
What? Yeah. What? Okay, Coren, talk to us. Explain what you just said.
All right, the undammed USB decoder is the thing that you plug into your super gun so that people can plug their USB sticks into it.
All right,
Eh.
all right.
Oh,
We're gonna
okay.
step in. Okay, let's say I'm super like smooth brain. Like, what's a
All
super
right.
gun?
A super gun is where some old person has like an arcade board and they want to plug it into a TV so they can play fighting games without carrying a cabinet because they got a bad back.
Yes.
So they have all this hardware that they plug into the arcade board so they can play it on their dinky little CRT TV or their modern like low input lag HDMI TV. And then the undammed converter lets you just plug a stick into it rather than have to like pin out to like a JAMA harness and have like an arcade panel plugged into the front of it.
Okay. Yeah, so you can buy your fighting game friends or whatever. You can buy them enthusiast hardware that is usually very hard to get otherwise.
Yeah, the undammed converters are not expensive. Like they're like $40 US, but they're very limited runs usually because they're made by hand.
Right. That's another thing, right? Like a lot of the hardware that we get is usually specialty, novelty products that don't get manufactured in bulk. Tenma, you got any suggestions?
For peripherals, now that events are again slowly coming back, maybe for some fortunate folks like me, we have locals coming back again. Get yourself some nice bags, like backpacks, whatever, or gym bags, whatever. But like bags for your stick, for your mask, extra mask, and hand sanitizers, and I guess all your other necessities. Like I think that's like the one thing that I go to events all the times, and it's just like when I don't have all my stuff with me, I get paranoid. So
Get
if
yourself
you
a nice
have,
bag.
yeah, like if folks here listening on this are interested in coming back into events and whatnot, you'll be surprised how much like quality of life for tournaments changes when you have a nice bag that can actually fit all your stuff in, so you don't have to carry around everything and all that by hand when you're going places. So that'll be the first thing that came to my head.
Okay, so I already
Dang, I
opened
actually
with
have
my
a bag
thing.
recommendation.
Oh, Coren, go for it.
If you're in Canada, Mountain Equipment Co-op makes really good bags. I have like one of their bags of Velocio Noir, I think, which I've been using for my stick for like many years right now, and it shows no signs of wearing out. It's much better at the job than like any dedicated stick bag I've found so far, even.
For
Okay.
people outside of Canada, MEC is a outdoors supply store. So what would be the equivalents in the States? Actually don't know. But
Bass Pro Shop.
Bass Pro Shop. Oh, yeah. So Bass Pro Shop, maybe some. Yeah, you can get something. Yeah, because those are definitely meant to be like, really like rare proof and like
Super waterproof.
and like fits in a lot of stuff.
If you're in the
So-
U.S., you can probably get them directly from the supplier. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
And if we don't have any, we don't have any sponsors, but if anyone out there has a really nice travel bag that they want to, hit us up
Mountain
about.
Equipment Co-op wants to sponsor us, I will shill for them.
All right, yeah, we got the. You guys see the little desk on the overlay? We can slap your product right there. You know how it is. So yeah, I already gave my suggestion, which is to check out a monitor, because a lot of people, even if you're not going to events, that benefits you. Having that nice, low latency monitor helps. So Kevin, talk to me. What do you recommend, or do you have any recommendations?
I have two. They're both related to locals, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
One on the same vein as monitors, a portable monitor for events.
Oh, that's a really good suggestion.
Something that you can. I've seen ones that basically look like tablets. There's also those giant games cases that are basically you could put a whole system in there and a monitor as well. Hori, I think, has one as well. Maybe not for PS5, but for PS4 for sure. But yeah, things along those lines. The other one for any arcade or stick players who travel, um, you can try getting the link, the detachable lever that you can store, and it basically makes carrying your stick around a lot easier, since you won't just have the ball top sticking out. It'll just basically be a rectangle you can throw in there.
Right. Okay, so we've talked hardware because that's half the battle. Now let's talk about games that you can buy on sale. Games that we recommend buying on sale. So I'm not going to skip my turn this time. So Coren, you can go ahead and give us a first suggestion.
Million Arthur Arcana Blood, I guess.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Arcana Heart 3 Love Max 6 stars with 6 exclamation marks crossed out. Extend is pretty good too.
Pretty good game, man. Pretty good. Daryl, you got any suggestions?
Okay. As we're recording, it's Black Friday. I actually bought something that I intend to play at a later time. It's actually Jump Force.
Oh yeah,
Oh
so
yeah,
yeah,
that's going away.
that's getting
Oh, yeah,
delisted.
exactly. It's going away next year. It's gonna get delisted. So it's on sale right now. I got the whole game plus 2 seasons of DLC for $15, and I'm about to have the most Kusto gay of Christmases when I actually pick this up and play it with.
So you can buy yourself. Listen, you can buy yourself a piece of gaming history. It will never be sold ever again. Okay, so when people say hashtag free Jump Force in 10 years, you can say that you already have the game.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've learned my lesson. There's so many delisted like games on PS3, PSN. I'm like, you're not gonna get me this time. Jump Force. I don't even like this game, but we're getting it just
Yeah,
to
for
preserve it.
sure, for sure. Tenma, you got any suggestions?
Sorry, I'm still in shock about Jump Force. I'm actually on Steam right now.
Oh, you forgot it's getting delisted?
I didn't know. I legit.
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know.
you better get on that if you want it.
Oh my god, there's a Kaiba DLC. Oh, I'm in this.
Oh, you're
Let's
in
go.
there.
See, another satisfied customer.
Oh my god, dude.
Damn. Maybe
All
I-
right.
maybe-
Yeah, all right.
No. I do have. Well,
What
I
do
have
you
to
got
always
for
say
me?
this. I always have to say it. Play everybody, play KOF. Literally, if it's not 14 or New Sam show, every SNK game's like $5 sale.
Speaking of
Most likely-
$5, KOF 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition is $5 at the time of recording.
Exactly, and right now, at this time of recording, there is the beta right now for the the lobby plus rollback.
Yeah, lobbies and rollback. It's the whole package this time. And you know what? I gotta say, seeing that lobby reminded me of my own experiences programming lobbies for video games. Specifically because the KOF 98, and this is like a super detour, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. The KOF 98 UMFE lobbies. It's like a list of players, and then it shows their current activity. Like it says versus player 1 or versus player, like if they're playing player 1, like if I'm player 2 and they're playing and I'm playing against player 1, then I'm going to say versus 1 and then the other person's going to say versus 2. That's kind of like how you can tell what's going on. And that reminds me of how I figured out how to write lobbies. I was like, "Oh, I need to have some stored value of like who is the person that I'm playing with, like the target is what I called it." So every player in my lobbies, and if you guys don't know, I wrote lobbies for Melty Blood. The way that I kind of did it in my head is like, okay, I'm gonna have a player, and then that player is gonna have a property called target, which points at another player in the room. And so seeing that just kind of like brought me back to like me coding that and figuring that out, which is really funny. But yeah, the lobbies work great. You can hop in and out of matches, and you can replay. Like you can start from the beginning of the match, or you can skip to the live feed of the match. Usually, it's one or the other. It's never both. So having both is really cool, and I think unprecedented. So yeah, definitely buy it. It's $5. It is a steal. KOF 98 is a huge game. A lot of people really like UMFE.
I do have one caveat with UMFE,
Yeah, talk to me.
and it's that the port of 98 in UMFE is not very good. It's got like weird input handling, and it runs a bit slow. But UMFE
Yeah.
on it is perfect.
I kind of had like a hope that they would make it so you could play 98 online, because that was not a thing, and they never said it would be for what it's worth. But I kind of wanted, I was just kind of like, oh, it'd be really cool if they added the ability to play Vanilla 98. But that probably won't happen. But don't worry.
It'll be nice.
You can play Vanilla 98 on
There's like a
Fightcade.
million ways to do
And
that.
yeah, you can play it on Fightcade. It's fine. It's not going anywhere. But if you want to play the expanded version, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to explore it for the first time, check out 98 UMFE. I guess that's also one of my recommendations. I kind of always recommend this game when it goes on sale, but I'm going to shout out Punch Planet. I think it's on sale right now. Hold on, let me check. What I want to say is that game is like $20 usually. I think it's $20 or $30. I think it's $20 normally. And I think it's super worth $20. But the thing is that it has a small roster. It's like 8 characters right now, I believe. I think they're now at 8 characters. So some people in the past have said to me, it doesn't really seem worth it for such a small roster. Let me just tell you something. Punch Planet is an extremely flexible game. Like the way the game is made lets you just do almost anything that you can think of. Because it has Roman cancels and focus attacks in the same system. It has like Street Fighter 4, like FADCs, but without the stupid link timing. It's like super easy to use, and it has like the ability to cancel special. So you have like Roman cancel, and that just like every character can be played in such crazy unique ways as a result of that. That I feel that the small roster is probably to the benefit because there's just so much that you can see people do with those characters. And the netcode is rollback. It's great. The lobbies are great. There's not much in the way of offline content, which is another thing that people complain about. But the online community is very active. You can join their developer Discord. You can just go looking for matches. And there's updates for it all the time. And also the graphics are really cool. I just like it. It's like a futuristic sci-fi kind of thing. You got like these really cool like futuristic cities and space stations and alien characters. And I really recommend checking it out. It's currently 25% off. It looks like $15 right now. So you should buy Punch Planet is what I think, and you should check it out. I think if you're a fan of Street Fighter 4, or even like Guilty Gear, just try it. There's something for everyone. And I've seen a lot of people just kind of say it's not worth $20 to them. So if it's not worth $20 to you, then maybe it'll be worth $15 for you. You can give it a try. Or if you see it at a cheaper sale, then get it. So yeah, that's what I got. Kevin, do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, just one. Footsies. It's a fun little
Footsies.
It's a fun little, I guess you could say, mini fighting game that you can use to, I guess, help teach people the concept of footsies. At least that's what I've used it for when kind of like showing people who haven't played fighting games before, like they're trying to get into it. I just bring it up on my phone or on my computer and play a couple rounds, show them, okay, this is what I'm doing to you.
That's
So
cool.
They kind of see, oh, it's not just mashing. There's some strategy involved.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah. That game also has a lot of ways to play. That game has crossplay to mobile, which is not something every game can claim to have. So you can play it on your phone, and you can play with somebody on PC. Yeah. So that is our recommendations. That is our buyer's guide.
I got one more.
Yeah.
Because of what month it is still.
What you got?
It goes on sale very often, but like if you need a way to play Karnov's Revenge during Karnovember on your gaming device, then the ACA Neo Geo port of it goes on sale like pretty often.
Oh yeah. Sure. Okay, that's
So
a good
if you
recommendation.
need a way to play it on like PlayStation or like your Switch or whatever, you can get Karnov's Revenge like on sale usually.
Please play that game. That game rules. Son.
Furious Balloon.
Yeah. Shout outs to Theory Fighter for that excellent video that went up today about Balloon.
Oh, it's out. Yo, I need.
It's out. Yeah, it's out. You should watch it.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what we got. Last topic of discussion is
Actually,
how.
sorry,
Talk to me, Tenma.
Wait.
What you got?
So, earlier I was just like, there was an obvious gift, and that obvious gift that I wanted to mention, and this is not peripheral, it's not a game, but it's apparel. And you know where you get the best apparel right now in the FGC?
Where do you get it?
Climax of Night Shop.
Buy a shirt. All right, buy a damn shirt. I'm gonna link the Climax of Night shirt shop in the description of this, so buy it.
Man,
Don't take our word for it. You should explore that shop. Those designs are super fire. They're all like awesome homages to old PS1 classic titles. It's super clean. I really like the inspiration that each individual artist took.
Yeah. It's worth mentioning that Climax apparel is generally not sold so long after the event ends, but they announced that they would be open until the end of the year, so you can get it while 2021 is still with us. So do that. Get on that. Link will be in the description. Next up, is going to be ways to make offline events safer in the ongoing pandemic. So again, Climax of Night happened. CEO is coming up. Frosty Fausting's coming up next year. Offline is back ostensibly, right? You know, we'll have to see how things work out, right, with the pandemic as things progress with vaccines. But the events are going on. The show must go on. So, in these unprecedented times, it's really worth talking about how to make these events safer. What tips we could share, what advice we could have. And I don't know if anyone here has worked under similar circumstances where you have to do social distancing or really think about public health in that context. Does anyone have any wisdom to share about something like this, or has anyone here worked an event already that has to deal with that?
I guess I can start this off. So fortunately, up here in Ontario, Canada, things has been recovering slowly. Obviously, we're still not in the clear yet, but like things are slowly recovering. And I actually have been running locals again since July.
Right,
And,
right.
with a new venue and whatnot. And then there's still a lot of things that I want to do to make people safer, but I haven't been able to just because of space given. But what I've been doing, so to talk about the things I wish I could do is like head-to-head setup so we can separate the players, but obviously requires a lot more equipment and space to be
Right.
real.
Space
So
is the big concern.
yeah, but aside from that, I invested a lot into like bringing like extra masks for people if I had to use them, but if people need them or if they lose it in their bathroom or something, I don't know. Like and then I went out and bought like lots of hand sanitizer that will just leave at little setup stations. Like each setup had a hand sanitizer, and I kind of like made sure of that kind of thing. And then aside from that, we go by like our province's kind of like guideline. Our venue is like a pub, like a bar venue.
Right.
So it's like general rule is if you're standing, we have our designated area, but if you're standing, you have to have your mask on. Sitting, like it'll be suggested you wear your mask, but you don't have to if you're sitting. So we have kind of gone by that. It's been working well, and then that and because it's locals, and I know we get about 20 to 30 people every week, but then it's still in the scale that I can control. So I've been taking like attendances, cause just in case, if it was a case and I need to contact everybody, it's like,
Yes.
hey, whomever was here on this day, like, sorry to bother, but you want to get checked out. Fortunately, knock on wood, hasn't happened yet, but I have been doing stuff like that. Now, leading into, I haven't done a big offline event since obviously 2019, but like, I don't know how, I hope some of these knowledge can convert over to that. However, because of the scales of these big tournaments or big events, maybe Coren after me could hop in because he went to Pinnacle, but like I don't know how to like effectively also and financially um convert that to a bigger scale event is what I'm trying to say. So
Corin, enlighten us, if you will.
Okay. So my major observation, having been to like, because we have two locals in Vancouver, and we also had Pinnacle not too long ago, and we've had like some monthlies for tournaments and stuff. You can space setups aside, but players are just going to naturally gravitate together because, at least for locals, like everybody's friends, they want to hang out, be close to their friends and stuff. So subconsciously, people are going to start getting closer and closer if you space everything out. So that's one of the main things. I think probably I'm gonna steal like what my school did when they needed to set up workstations for us when I was finishing my diploma. Is plastic welding screens or just like barriers you can put between people's like stations is a good way to do it and keep things like force people to be separated from each other. So like if you're doing like a head to head, you can put like a plastic welding screen or like a plastic acrylic plane of glass between people so that there's a non-permeable membrane between people. But players are just going to naturally gravitate to each other. Like people in my locals are all pretty cognizant of the fact that we're pretty lucky that locals are open. So people are like making sure to alert people and go get checked if they feel like a little tingle or something, and not come to local sick off work or whatever. But like players are gonna gravitate to each other, so that's the main thing you need to look out for when you're setting up your safety zones, I think.
Yeah, that's all great advice. I do want to highlight a point that Tenma made. That I think even if we're talking about buying extra resource, buying things to have on hand, safety, equipment, that all that stuff is important. By the way, you should, if you are running a venue at a recurring basis, you should probably, take some time to have some safety kit stuff, ways to clean up, things that happen, just having resources to keep your area clean. But I do want to say that before, on top of that, one of the things that everyone can do is maintain, contact tracing, right? Having a requirement, like if you need, if you guys are going to do something on a recurring basis, just say, okay, you need to submit a, negative test 24 hours beforehand, for example, if you're in an area where you can get access to rapid tests, right? I would highly recommend doing that, if so. Also, having that information available to everybody in the organization, right? For example, like if it's you and 4 other TOs, make sure everybody has the same information, right? Make sure that everybody has access to that they can verify it. Nobody making stuff up to somebody else, right? That kind of thing can happen. So make sure that everyone has access to the information related to keeping each other safe. Because the thing is that even though this kind of leads into like privacy, like what how much information you have to share, it will eventually become public if somebody shows up and has COVID. It will eventually come out. If someone's gonna find out if that gets around. So do your part to make sure that everyone cooperates and that everyone knows that everybody cooperates. That's the other part, right? Because if somebody just said, yeah, this guy told me that this other guy has, submitted their test, that can lead to an unreliable chain of information. So definitely think about having a, accessible spreadsheet somewhere, and don't just throw it out after your local is over, right? Because again, these things take time to be symptomatic. Okay, so you could have a week or two go by and somebody gets sick, and suddenly you need to go through the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks of people who have been at your venue, and you need to contact them. So don't throw that stuff out. Make sure that you have a record. Something that we don't always have at these venues is like a record of who's there and when. So definitely something that I would recommend everybody out there take advantage of. I don't know if anyone else has any tips.
That's something I take for granted, even because like with my locals, usually people have to sign in versus Smash GG anyway. So for every local, for people who come in, there's like a record of people who came in.
Yeah, that is also a good way to do it, right? But some people, may just show up for casuals, or they may not, use that. Just make sure that you have a way to encompass everybody who was in the venue, and make sure that you have a record that they have submitted their rapid test if you are able to do that. Like, for example, a UK local that I know people from there very well, in the UK you can get access to rapid tests very easily, thankfully. It's a very good thing. So they have everybody submit a test 24 hours before they show up to the venue. If they have to, and then they maintain a list of everybody. And I think that's really great. And I understand that access to those things is kind of limited depending on where you are. But if you can do that, I highly recommend it. That's what I got. I don't know if anyone has any last minute comments.
If it's available in your area, then like any sort of record of like vaccine status is obviously good to have. Like in my province, we have like a system where everyone has a QR code, and there's a free app you can download to scan anyone's QR code, and it'll just be like, ding, this person's vaccinated.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. Don't accept some venues accept photocopies of vaccination records, but definitely be strict in whatever protocol you decide to use if you want to accept those, right? Like a QR code or genuine copy or, photocopy if you have to. But make sure that nobody's out here, using fake records, because that stuff happens.
Up to an extent, like everything is eventually going to be like everything does eventually like boil down to trust at some point, and like the mutual trust between the venue and the players and each other.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, I really gotta speak in a very, how do I say, serious manner, because this is pretty serious. This is stuff that we got to think about, because the gates are open. Offline is back. You got to do it right.
Yeah, and if we want offline to continue to be a thing, like, or even be a thing into the future, because some places don't even have locals yet, and some places are going to close down locals because of recent developments.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think that wraps it up in terms of our topics. Again, thank you guys for joining me on this episode, and thanks everybody for watching if you made it this far. Again, we are available on YouTube, and we will be available on all your favorite podcast channels. We'll be on Spotify as of this episode. So if you missed our first episode, it will also be available as an audio format, not on video. You don't have to have your YouTube window open. So please look forward to that and all future episodes to be made available in some form through podcast channels. And as always, you can check us out at 956 Productions on Twitter. We highly recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we publish our exhibition VODs, tournament VODs, and these episodes as well. They'll be available there first. So go ahead and feel free to support us if you like. Thank you guys again for another episode, and that's going to be all from us. See ya.